What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trick 10s. Today we are working on the Lowe 1648. This is episode 3. If you have not seen the first 2 episodes, go check them out. That way you can get caught up on where we're at right now. Now, I understand it has been almost 8 weeks since part 2 of this video dropped. I'm sorry, guys. It's just been a lot going on recently. Now, in episode 2, we finished up with doing all of the framework in here. We're basically ready to build the hatches and drop them in. Unfortunately, I ran out of hatch track. I was not prepared for the amount of orders for hatches we were going to have this summer. It just caught me off guard. And I ordered the hatch track. Well, the mill that I ordered this stuff from, looking back on it now, I went with a different mill, but I was locked in because I ordered the die through this mill, and it cost me like $3,000 to get this die. Regardless, this stuff takes a very long time to get, and a lot longer than I was anticipating. They tell you it takes about 5 to 6 weeks. Well, in reality, it takes about 8 to 12 weeks. So I waited 12 weeks to get my extruded hatch track material in, and I finally got it. I got about 4,000 feet of it, and I've already ordered another order of another 4,000 feet because this stuff is going like hotcakes. I appreciate all you guys that are ordering hatches because that's what keeps me afloat, and I build the best hatches that you've ever seen. I guarantee you that. Anyways, guys, we're going to get right into this build. I'm going to turn this camera around. I'm going to show you guys what we got, what we plan to do with it. Y'all know how this works. Let's get right into it. All right, so here we Lowe again. 1648, brand new boat. This thing has never even been in the water. The customer bought this thing, and he was going to build it out himself, decided he was going to bring it to me. If you've watched episode 1 and 2, you already know that. But what we're going to do with this build is take this thing to the next level. It's already got some elite framework in here. The only thing I didn't really finish up as far as framework goes is this back transom area. Now look, this is loose. I'm glad I left this loose because I have a hatch right here that I'm going to put in here that was made for a Tracker Grizzly kit, and I messed up when I input the coordinates in my CNC machine, and I made it an inch smaller than what the trackers can go with. So we're going to use it for this. It's going to be perfect. It's already got the hatch cut out around the transom. It's got 2 handles, port and starboard. The only issue is that this one was laid out for a 46-inch drop-in, which is humongous anyways, and the hatch is already set at 40-inch drop-in. So all we got to do is move these in 3 inches. We'll take these out on port and starboard side, and we'll put a new piece in there and bring it over 3 inches. And then we got to cut it down this way because that hatch is like 16.5 inches, and this one's only like 14. So it's not a big deal. I'll just run it through the table saw, cut the lid off, and then I'll bend the inch down, and we'll have room to fit it in here. It's going to be perfect for this build, and I'm actually kind of excited we get to use that because that's going to be better than where I was originally going to do this. Now, these hatches in here, those are simple. This side panel over here, it's going to have a drop-in cup holder. He's going to have a spot up here for his graph on a swing arm. And then on that side, that's the rod locker. He's got a big rod locker in here. This is like 8 foot and some change. You'll see that in the previous episodes. Go watch them if you haven't watched them already, because this rod locker was a pain in the ass. Then we've got a live well, and we're going to have a dry box over here, shallow pan. This side's going to be the electrical pan. And these are our batteries right here. Now, these are 3 100 amp hour mini batteries from Watt Cycle. I teamed up with Watt Cycle. I will put their information in the description of this video. If you guys want to get some of these batteries, go cop them and use my code TRICK10s. You'll save a little bit of money and it will help me out. But I like these batteries. I put 4 of these into my personal rig and they're running perfectly. So they're good batteries and they're going to fit in here perfectly because it doesn't have a lot of depth into this boat. This riveted holes are kind of shallow, especially with this one being a flat bottom boat. You see how it tapers up big right here. So you don't really have a lot of depth, especially with this rig in particular, because the benches in these Lowes, as you can see, you got a floor here. Well, look back here. That floor, it's sitting about 2 inches up off the bottom of the hull. So we don't have as much depth in here. You lose that out of here. Once we drop our hatch in here, the hatch is going to sit down 1.8 inches. So, you know, it's not going to be ideal to put the batteries back here like I normally would, because you just don't have the space for it. So what I'm planning on doing is putting all 4 batteries up here. Now, that's not a terrible thing because these batteries are super lightweight. And not only that, but that helps me out because if I put all the batteries here and the tender up in here, then they're right next to the trolling motor. So I don't have to run extra wires all the way to the back of the boat and back up. And his switch panel is going to be right here. So I could put 4 batteries right here. 3 of them are just going to be for the trolling motor, and the 4th one is going to be for all the other stuff that's going into the boat as far as like the pumps and the lights, LEDs, all that type of stuff. So it's gonna be perfect to have it right here. And I'll put 4 batteries, the tender, and then I'll be able to run it right into here, whereas the electrical panel is gonna be. This is gonna be an electrical panel switch that has all the fuses and stuff in it, and a removable pan, so you can get down in there and you can access the pumps and stuff that are going into the live well, which is right next to it. Now that live well, that's the stock live well. We did pull it out. We welded all the rivet holes in the boat, in the live well. Now that thing's a whole lot better. It's gonna be a whole lot nicer for him, and it's exactly what we need. So I'm ready to get this thing going. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and start building some of the internals that are going in here. Now I finished off the rod locker all the way from the back bench, basically up to the middle bench. And from here up, I gotta build some type of wall right here. Now this wall is gonna be a little bit different because I'm not trying to take up the entire hatch right here, but we'll see how this works out. I might suck his batteries over a little bit farther, or I might just keep them centered. I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure that out, but I'm gonna put you guys on the hyperlapse. I'm gonna start working on the internals of this hatch right here, because I wanna get this rod locker finished up. Now this front deck is pretty sick. It's gonna have a port and starboard hatch here, and it's gonna have another port and starboard hatch up in the front. These are gonna be shallow, like day boxes, and these are gonna be opened up to the bottom of the boat. Now this one is gonna be different because a majority of that hatch, at least 2/3 of it, is gonna be taken up by the rod locker, but I still wanna have some type of access in there for him to get to the batteries, or at least have like a tray inside of there where you can have some shallow storage or something. I don't know. We're gonna figure this thing out, guys. I'm gonna put you on the hyperlapse. Let's get back to work. All right, guys, so I got all the hatches home and I dropped them all on the boat. I'm doing a little test fit with them, and I just realized that we might have went a little overboard with the hatches in this rig. We've got 11 hatches in here. We've got 4 right here in this front deck, 3 in the bench. The rod locker hatch is humongous, 2 in the back bench, and then a transom hatch. I mean, I don't really think it's that outrageous. I like it. I mean, these right here were kind of an afterthought, and I'm not sure if I want to have this one going this way where it opens up to the side, like the one next to it, or like that one and opening up towards the front. But inside of here, I did install a 5.5-inch pan, and that gives him some storage inside of there. And the reason I did that is because you can see right here, well, this whole hatch is so sloped. If I just put a floor in here, it would have rolled up, and then anything you put in there would just suck down to this side, and it would have just been a mess. So I was just gonna put a sheet over that, but I think it's a whole lot cooler with the hatch because that gives him an extra, 12 inches square, 5.5 inches deep of storage space that would have basically just been nothing. And then we've got the port and starboard side hatches. Now inside of here, I'm gonna have 4 batteries inside of here, and he's still gonna have all this room on this side. The batteries are gonna sit in the middle right there, and then the same thing on the other side. He's got lots of storage in there. Now he does lose about 3 inches off the back side because his rod locker is up on that side, but it still leaves you a good 16 inches of space down in the floor by the width right here, which is about 30 inches. So there's good storage up in this front deck. Maximize our space to the best of our abilities. Original bench seat right here. Now this side, this has our removable pan in it. You can just take this pan out of here, and underneath of there, you're gonna have access to the wires and the pumps and hoses that are coming out of the live well. Opposite side, something similar, but that one's not removable. And the reason that it's not removable is because it's over top of the rod locker. The center one, cut and dry. That's our live well right there. That's a humongous front deck, and it's got lots of storage in it. I mean, this is probably best case scenario you could ever imagine for this boat front deck setup. I mean, hands down, it's gonna be sick, man. It's got a foot pedal tray, it's a seat base right here. You have a little sheet here and a sheet port and starboard to finish it off. The rest of it is decked out with storage space and lots of hatches.
Gets us into our floor space. Lots of floor space. This side, we're obviously going to have a graph, cup holder, so we're just going to cap this off, fill this up with foam. That side's the rod locker. It's a humongous rod locker in there. This whole floor space in here is like 51 to 53 inches, something like that. So that's a big hatch right there, and it works out perfect. Back bench, obviously, this is cut and dry. 2 hatches, lots of room. They're big, so you get room inside of here to fit big items. Works out perfect. This hatch on the back, this transom hatch, well, I had actually made this for a different boat, and it was like 3 inches longer, and it was short this direction, the long direction for the tracker kit. So I wasn't going to use it for any tracker, so I figured I'm going to put it in here. All I did was just cut 3 inches off it, and I bit down another lip on this side so I can attach my hinge and stuff in here, and it's going to work out sweet because it's going to be like that hole opening in the center. Now, obviously, I got to come back and cut through this. And you can see it's sitting up on it right here. It's touching. And once I cut this out, the hatch will drop all the way down, and that will leave an opening in the center for his gas line, transducer cables to run right out of there. This one also has 2 handles in here, so you can lock this thing up because he's gonna have his gas tank in there. And I don't know, it looks sick, man. Lots of hatches, cool project. I just wanted to dry fit everything, mark all my drain tubes, and anything that I need to change, I need to go ahead and get all these hatches figured out tonight, because I'm going to take these back to the shop and clean them up and drill all the holes in them for mounting, and then we're going to send these off to the powder coaters. I got to get with this customer, and I got to figure out what color we're doing these, what turf he wants, and what color I'm going to paint the boat, because after finishing up all the final measurements and stuff I need and any tweaking I got to do on these hatches, well, that's where we're at. I'm going to take these things out, and I'm going to start doing all the rest of the internals. Don't have a lot left to do, just a couple little sheets on the sides back here and, you know, up at his front deck. And then I need to paint this rig. And once we get this thing painted, we're going to start doing the turf and electrical and plumbing and getting this thing ready to be wrapped up very shortly. I'm going to check all these things out, and then we'll get on to something else. Let's get back to work.
So I have a confession to make. Now, all the video footage you've seen up until now was basically a collective video footage for the past 3 to 4 months. Now, I feel terrible about that because I'm a hustler and I've had this boat since 2024, and it really hurts my heart to say that because I don't like to have boats that long, and I'm just trying to get them in and out as fast as possible, but I'm all about a dollar. I have a lot of bills, guys, like a lot of bills. Ever since I moved into this new house with this big shop, like it's costing me an arm and a leg to make things happen. So if I get a customer that comes in with some project that's going to be $500 for a couple hours of work, well, I'll do them. And especially if you come in with a project and you tell me that you're not in a big rush for it, we can get it done on my time. And like, don't tell me that. If you want to bring me a project, tell me that you need it ASAP. It works best for me, works best for you. Even if you got time on it, like, don't tell me that. Regardless, I feel bad, Rob. I'm sorry that it's taken me this long to get your boat done, but your boat is the only boat in my garage right now, as you can see. And I've got a lot of stuff for this rig already done. I'm trying to wrap this up in the next couple of weeks. This project is a big project and it will be done very shortly, guys. I'm gonna turn this camera around. I'm gonna show you guys what we got going on, and the stuff that I have for it now, because a lot of progress has been made just recently in this build. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so check it out. This is all of the hatches that are going into this rig. Now we've got like 10 hatches here, tons of stuff going in here. I'm probably gonna give this customer a discount on this because it's taking me so long, but these hatches are dope. Look at the colorway. These are wrapped in saran wrap, but they are still dope, man. This is the 7006 RAL powder coat color. And the cool thing about this is that it matches this turf perfectly. Look at this colorway. This is a colorway we've never used before. This is the cobblestone hydroturf color, and we got it in the 1/2-inch cut groove. It's gonna be fun installing, but we got 3 sheets in here, and I have another 3 sheets in the garage, so we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll with this project. We have tons of hatches for this thing. I went a little above and beyond, and that's kind of why it took me so long to get to this stage of the game, but hey, we're here. We're going to finish this thing up. It's going to be sick. Now, we've got 3 hatches back here. 1 here. That's 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hatches in this rig. This is our recessed foot pedal tray right here. We have a seat base right there. Lots of stuff going on. But he told me that he didn't really want to paint the boat after I'm already at this stage of the game. I wanted to paint the boat, but it kind of makes sense to not paint the entire boat. So I'm thinking that I might come back and tape it off underneath of this top gunnel right here. And I might paint the top gunnel and everything on the inside. I mean, obviously I have to paint this. I have to paint inside of here. I mean, there's got to be some painting done in this rig. We can't just leave this wide open. I was looking for websites that sell the Lowe paint where I could just touch up some stuff, but I can't find any. And regardless, I'm just going to get some paint that's going to match, and I'm going to paint the interior. Everything from the gunnel on the outside up and over and interior, everything is getting painted tomorrow. I'm going to go pick up some paint tomorrow. It's going to match. And that's the first thing I'm going to do is paint everything from the bow to the stern. And then I'm going to start putting all these hatches in here permanently. And then we're going to start turfing this thing. We're going to wrap this thing up in the next couple of weeks. And it's going to be one of the baddest 1648 builds that I've ever done. You guys know how this works. I'm going to put you guys back on the hyperlapse. Let's get back to work. guys, so check it out. I went ahead and painted this thing. It looks good. I mean, it's not exactly the same color paint, but this OD green, this is the forest green camo color.
it's going to match really well, and it's going to turn out perfectly the way we're going to do it, because everything on the inside and the top rail is this color, and then you're only going to see the Lowe coloring on the bottom side of the boat. But I went ahead and put these lights in here. Now we're going to have a hatch that drops in here. Obviously it's going to stick out like 1 1/8 inches, so it's going to cover these. We got these strip lights going across here, back down the inside, all the way across, and then I hook them up to a wire and ran them up to where my switch panel is going to be. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to pick up with these lights right here and run them up the side of the rod locker and then straight across the face here to light up these compartments up here. And the way I did this is pretty cool. First time I've done something like this, but I wanted to show you guys, so I thought it was pretty dope. Now obviously our rod locker runs all the way up here, and we got our wall blanking this off. Now inside of these front compartments here, these have pans on them, but inside of here we sheeted this off, and I'm gonna turf inside of here to finish this thing off. But it turned out really sick. Now obviously you can see like our rod lockers right here, it's inside of this hatch. Well, look at how this hatch goes. Really cool. So now when you open the hatch, you've got a little lip in here. It's like a ledge. This is actually 2.5 inches deep, so you can fit some terminal tackle and stuff in here, whatever you want to put there. And that gives you access into this whole area right here, which is now a really nice storage area. And the rod locker is right underneath of this right here. You can see you got our wall, comes right up here. It's about 1 inch behind that. It worked out perfect. It's the first time I've done a hatch like this with a, you know, permanent tray inside of it, and I think it's pretty cool. So I wanted to show you guys that. It's gonna be really sick once this all gets done, but we still got a lot to do, so I'm gonna put you guys back on the hyperlapse and get back to work. All right guys, so I was mistaken earlier. I told you we had 300 amp hour batteries, but we actually ordered 3 of the 12 volt 50 amp hour batteries. Those 3 are gonna be running just for the trolling motor. And that's more than enough power for that trolling motor to last all day long. And then we got a 12 volt 100 amp hour mini. That battery is tiny, but it's still super powerful, man. I mean, these things are super lightweight. Look at this, they weigh like absolutely nothing. These are like under, I think under 10 pounds. So yeah, we got some cool batteries going in here, and this is the battery tender, the 4-bank charger. We're putting that in here too. But like I said, if you guys want to rock some of these batteries that I'm using, they are from Watt Cycle, and I dig them. Use my code TRICK10s, guys. I'm gonna make a battery tray. It's gonna fit all 4 of those batteries, and I'm gonna get that installed right up here in the front of this boat. And I'm thinking I'm gonna put the tender here. I gotta figure out exactly how I want to set that up, but I gotta make that tray. We'll put you guys on the hyperlapse. Let's get back to work. All right, so we put the batteries up in here. Now I was thinking about making a whole tray, but you see what I did? I just put an angle on the front and the side, and that actually worked out really well. And I didn't have any 1/8 inch thick material here at home big enough to make this pan out of, and I didn't really want to make this thing any taller,
So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good idea. And if you look back here, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, you can see that. I put 2 pieces of foam behind that wall and was sandwiched it between the wall and the back of these 3 batteries because these 3 are shorter. But look, I mean, these things are tight. They're tight, super tight. They're not coming out of there. And that worked out really well. Those batteries are in there. I mean, I don't have any straps on them. I'm not going to put any straps on them. They're not heavy, but they're heavy enough that they're not going to jump up 1.5 inches and be able to get out of there because they have just enough tension on them to keep them in there. Nice snug fit. Went ahead and I mounted the battery tender right here. I think that's going to be pretty good. I'm actually thinking about running this plug up through here into the removable pan and putting the NOCO port in here. That way he can just open this one hatch and then he can plug it in for his charger, and kind of makes sense because the rest of his electrical stuff's going to be right here. Not only that, but this is a pretty good size electrical hatch. This is bigger than some of the ones I've done recently, so it's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I'm not sure yet. Regardless, now inside of here, we are going to turf, you know, everything silver in the floor here, and I need to turf that rod locker. So I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to burn a sheet. I got 5 or 6 sheets of turf. I can't remember. I think 5, but we're going to have to burn one for that unless I use a different color, because that's going to take a whole sheet to do that rod locker. That thing's long, and by the time we go, you know, down the face, across the floor, and up the sidewall, well, it's damn near a whole sheet. And we're going to have a piece inside of here too. I'm going to go look and see what I got. I got a bunch of extra remnants and drop sheets, so if I got something that's like a solid gray or, I don't know, like a dark color, a black or something, it's enough to do inside of some of these compartments. I might do that because I really want to save as much sheets as possible, because this is a good sized boat. I mean, 1648, but with that square nose on it, that's a lot of extra stuff to turf up there. I mean, that stretches across. We're definitely going to have one seam in here, big seam for these 2 sheets to run from here, and there's no way that one sheet's going to come here, down, all the way back and down. So we're looking at 4 pieces just right here in this front deck. Now, they're not 4 whole sheets, but we're probably going to have at least close to 2 sheets just in this front deck, if not a whole 2 sheets. And then that floor is big, man. I mean, that's majority of a sheet right there. So you figure 3. Yeah, we're going to need 5 sheets to do this thing easy. We're going to need all 5 sheets. So anything I put inside of that rod locker or this floor right here is not going to be the turf that we're going to do the top deck with, because I'm going to burn some other sheets up just to get this done and make it look good. But she's looking pretty sick, man. I am going to wait on those lights right there until I turf inside of there too, because I don't want them to be in the way. I want to bring that turf up as high as I can. It's already going to be kind of a weird boat because I'm not used to building these, but we'll get that done. Those lights will look good. I'd rather just put them in after the fact. Back deck looks good. Now I got this, you know, set up like this. I'm going to measure a little piece for both these corners, and I'm probably going to go ahead and sheet in between this hatch and a little piece on the side, just to bring everything up to the same level. And that way, when we do our turf install, everything will be completely flat. You won't have any lumps or anything like that in it, and we can run that completely flat all the way up to the very front. It's looking good, guys. We're making some progress, man. It's hot. It's Hades out here, but we're getting the job done. I'm going to go ahead and find some turf, and we're going to start turfing inside of some of these compartments. All right, guys, so I hate to do it, but it's a wrap. We're pushing that 30-minute mark, and I need a video to drop for you guys this week. Hopefully you guys are watching this on Thursday, because right now it's Tuesday night, and I still got to finish editing, hopefully tomorrow, and get this thing ready to go, because I don't have video for you guys. I've been trying to drop videos 2 times a week, and when I was doing that, I mean, it was good. I had lots of builds going on, and in the beginnings of builds, you know, it's easy to drop those quick videos. We do that metal work fast, and it's a big, you know, difference from starting with nothing to getting all the metal work in it. So regardless, like, I haven't had any of those lately. And then I kind of screwed myself because I went out of town for 4th of July. I took off that weekend, and a long weekend, and didn't have videos the next week when I came back. And I was still playing catch up the following week, been dropping some promotional video stuff, just trying to catch up on some stuff. And YouTube has really just, they kicked me in the ass. They said, get out of here, bro. Like, they're not trying to help me out. They literally put my sales down from half of where they were 3 weeks ago. So cutting my YouTube sales in half for missing a week and a half, like, come on, bro. You can't do that to me like that. And my views obviously dropped too. So YouTube is a business, and you got to show up every single week, at least once, twice, better. I've never really dropped 3 videos except for a couple of times, but if you can drop a quality video on YouTube every day, I'm sure that your YouTube channel would flourish a whole lot faster than anything I can do. But regardless, guys, I do appreciate y'all watching, hanging out with me today. Hit that like, subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about this project. I'm going to drop probably the final reveal video for you guys next week because I'm going to get this thing done. I'm going to go ahead and put some turf in here tonight, and then next couple of days up through this weekend, hopefully we'll have this thing wrapped up by the end of this weekend. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one. Let's get back to work.